this is George Hutton, and you are listening to the Mind Persuasion podcast. We continue our study of the Milton model, otherwise known as Covert Hypnosis. Today's first pattern is called embedded commands. This is just like the name says. You use a command phrase and embed it inside of a longer sentence. When done correctly, it will be taken as a direct command by the subconscious of your listener and will have a dramatic influential effect. First of all, what is a command? In terms of English grammar, it is an imperative. The first word must be a verb and should be followed by no more than 3 other words. Here are some short examples of imperatives. Eat dinner, sit down, watch my cat, buy my product, become interested, like me, agree with me, find this useful. In order for a command to be said correctly, you should say it with a downward tone. Flat tones are for statements, phrases ending with upward tones are for questions, and phrases ending in downward tones are for commands. Then you take your command and put it in a sentence. The great thing about this is that the sentence can be about anything. You can talk about something else and throw the command in there like so. My friend says that when he decides to sit down and read the paper, he enjoys eating breakfast at the same time. When you're ready to eat dinner, let me know and I'll order a pizza. Some people, when they come into this shop, they are so impressed that they decide to buy my product right away, others not so fast. The other day I was shopping for a computer just like this, and the salesperson looked at me and told me how easy it was to become interested in these computers because they have so many useful features. Also, it helps to mark them off with something other than simple tonality. You can pause slightly before and after the command phrase, or you can tilt your head slightly, as Milton was known to do when saying the command phrase. You can keep a certain hand gesture reserved for when you do command phrases. The key is to be consistent with how you mark out these command phrases. That way the listener's subconscious will see a pattern and they will be much more effective. A good strategy for using these commands is to chain them. Think of what the situation will be when you first start talking to somebody, and think of what the eventual outcome you'd like, that is, think of what action you'd like them to take after the conversation. Then build a chain of commands starting with something easy to do like sit down, and slowly lead to the final command like buy this product, or subscribe to my video, or give me your number. For example, let's say you're at a sales meeting. Please come in. You can sit down in that chair over there, or this one. I know I have all these different magazines here. Some people need to read them and relax before they can get comfortable. It gives them an easy way to relax so they can think about what they want to do. I've been in this business a long time, and every potential customer is different. Some people come in here as a first stop, others come when they are ready to make a decision. It's interesting, though, that many people find a way to become curious about our products because they can be used for so many things. And I found that some people, after they get curious, really start to like our products. Of course, those that were already able to make a decision are usually ready to buy today. But like I said, every customer is different. If you want to buy today, that's great. I just want you to feel comfortable so that you can make the right decision now. A great way to practice this is to take any text, newspaper, novel, advertisement, whatever, and underline or highlight all the phrases that are in the command form and that are 4 words or less. Then simply read through the text out loud and read the command words with the command tonality and by marking them off somehow. You'll find that the more you use these, the more effect you'll have, and it will become easier and easier to persuade others. Our next pattern is called embedded questions. Embedded questions are very similar to embedded commands in that you take a short imperative phrase, use these patterns, and embed them within a larger phrase, marking them off with a change in tonality or gesture. With embedded questions, you embed them inside of a question rather than a statement like with embedded commands. This can be more powerful for a couple of reasons. One reason is when you use commands, you use them any way you like, quoting other people, telling a story about something that happened to you before, or anything else you can think of. So long as you slip the command in there somewhere and mark it off correctly, you're good to go. When you use them that way, you usually need to use quite a few of them to start to get some movement in the other person's mind. It is entirely possible to be talking about baseball and giving commands that are leading the other person to lose weight or something else completely unrelated. When done this way, the commands and the actions they generate will usually be 100% unconscious. In this particular example, the person might decide a day or so later to go on a diet and may think it has nothing to do, something completely different than your conversation. However, sometimes you'd like to use these to get quicker and more direct results with more participation from your listener. Here's where embedded questions come in. You simply structure the question so you're asking the person to think or consider or imagine something along the same lines as your theme. Then simply embed the command within the question. That way you are talking to them on two different levels, conscious and unconscious, about the same general idea. This can be extremely powerful. Basically, you're asking them a question on a conscious level and giving them the command within the question to help them come up with the answer that you want them to. Here are some examples. Can you imagine the possibilities when you start to use these patterns on a regular basis? Do you understand the significance of these patterns? Can you become curious about how many different ways you can use these patterns? Do you appreciate yourself and all the potential you really have? Can you understand the power that these patterns offer when you incorporate them into your daily conversations? Can you understand how much easier it is to lose weight with exercise compared to all those nonsense commercials you see on late night TV? Do you understand the value of dollar cost averaging to help you get rich in the stock market over time? Are you beginning to understand how you can use these patterns every day for fun and profit? Now, can you imagine the fun you'll have when you try these patterns with your friends and make them feel really good whenever they're around you? Our next pattern is called covering all ranges of possibilities. This pattern is good because it does a couple of things. It gives your listener or reader a great deal of choice, so it never feels like they are being pressured into anything. The good news for you is that all choices will lead to your outcome, so this pattern can create a true win-win scenario. This is similar to the double bind pattern. This one gives several choices leading to the same outcome. For example, if you ask, do you want to pay in cash? That's a yes or no, so it can lead to a no. Do you want to pay in cash or credit? It's better, it's a double bind, either choice leads to your outcome. Or you could try this, well, we have many different ways for you to make this product yours. Some of our customers prefer to pay directly with cash, while others can use credit, either their own or through our finance department, which has very competitive rates. Others can choose our 6 to 12-month installment plan, which allows you to take the product home today with only a few dollars deposit. Which one sounds easiest to you? The idea is that hopefully somewhere in all those choices is something the listener will think is easy and automatic. The thing about giving people choices is that everybody has their own background and preferences, so what may seem like an easy choice to one particular person may not be so easy or acceptable to the next person. So it pays to think ahead of time how to phrase your ideas so that your listener can have as many things to choose from as possible. One thing people like is choice, and nobody likes having choices or options taken away. The more choices you give your listener, the better. Another thing to consider is that your listener may really want to believe what you are saying or take the action that you are suggesting, but perhaps they've never experienced anything like this before, and nothing in their history is giving them any idea of how to proceed. By giving them so many choices, you are helping to help them imagine how to make it easy for them. Here are a few more examples. Let's say you want to persuade your friend to start exercising. Hey, I read this article in a fitness magazine, and they were saying how exercise really is the most important thing for consistent health and weight loss. And it got me thinking of all the different ways you could exercise. I mean, some people get up early in the morning and go for a walk. Others get up and do some kind of body weight exercises. If you drive around here at lunchtime, you'll see lots of people out jogging on their lunch break. Many others go to the gym and squeeze in a workout on their lunch break. I even talked to this one guy who said that instead of taking the elevator up to his office every day, he walks up 8 flights of stairs. Of course, you can always do some walking at night or stop by the gym on the way home. If you want to go to dinner but you're not sure if your spouse or partner wants to go. When I was driving home from work today, I saw a bunch of people lined up outside that Mexican restaurant over on 5th Street. It got me thinking of how many restaurants and eateries there are where we live. I mean, There's got to be at least 10 Italian places around here and 3 or 4 Mexican restaurants, not to mention all the Chinese food places and the sushi shops all over the place. They even have those ready-made salads at the supermarket that you can eat on those tables they have set up for that. Which place sounds good for dinner tonight? There's been plenty of research that indicates that the more choices people have up to a certain point, the easier it will be to make a decision. So now you can use this information to help other people to decide, or you can simply use it to increase your sales if you happen to be in sales, or you could even try this online in internet forums and see how much more persuasive you become. You could even use this pattern at parties with your friends and see how much more charismatic you became when you're using these patterns on a regular basis. It's completely up to you. Our next pattern is called utilization. The basic structure of the utilization pattern or strategy is to take whatever information you can get from your listeners or readers and simply agree with it, validate it, and then use it in your conversation in such a way that it supports your ideas or suggested course of action. One of the reasons it's so powerful is it is completely opposite of what traditional persuasion and sales teaches. Old school persuasion and rhetoric teach us to build a strong case on logic and emotions and hammer your listener with so many facts and figures that they have no choice but to agree with you. Or worse is the hard sell, where you hammer your poor client with so much enthusiasm and veiled threats and insults. Are you smart enough to buy this product? Are you rich enough to buy this product? Do you have the courage to buy this product? That leaves you with an icky feeling even if you do buy the product. When you use utilization, you take whatever your listener or potential client is doing or saying and agree with it completely, and let them know you totally understand and respect where they're coming from, and then fold their statement or actions into your own story and use it to support your case. Here's a couple of examples. Let's say you're talking to somebody at a party for the first time and they are showing all the classic signs of disinterest. They're turning their body away from you. They're giving you short answers to your questions. They're making brief but fleeting eye contact. Most people would get discouraged, but since you are learning the secrets of conversational hypnosis and covert persuasion, you can say something like this. Yeah, I know you're not that interested in talking to me. That's totally cool. I hate it when you're at parties and some goof comes up and starts talking to you and you just have to be polite until they leave. It's like some people can't take a hint, and then you can point to yourself when you say this. They just can't take that you're not really interested. It's like when my sister met her husband. He just kept talking to her and wouldn't leave her alone. At first, she didn't really acknowledge him standing there, and finally she figured if she talked to him just a little bit, he'd go away. But then when they started talking, she started getting more and more interested in this guy, and they started dating, and that was pretty much that. This was about 10 years ago, and now they have 3 kids, which I have to babysit, the little savages. Do you like kids? If you are giving a sales presentation and you can tell your client is not quite ready to buy, you can ask what they think of your product, and if they say it's too expensive, which usually means they can't appreciate the value, you can say something like this. Yeah, I agree this product is really expensive. It's definitely more expensive than our competitor's product. I've heard lots of people tell me that, and to tell you the truth, if I were in their shoes, I don't know if I'd buy this product either if I only knew what I told you so far. But some of our other clients, when they find out about some more benefits that you really don't notice until you imagine using this product for a year or two, and then they start to really see how this product can really help you. And most of them, when they combine that information with all of our extremely flexible payment plans, they slowly realize that this is valuable far beyond the price you'll pay for it. And several of our customers from years ago who initially thought it was too expensive are some of our biggest fans now and consistently give us referrals. You can also use this pattern or strategy in sales copy. You'll need to figure out what some common objections there are for your particular product or industry, and then paste them, agree with them, and then turn them around so that they support the idea of purchasing your product. This can be particularly powerful and significantly increase your sales if you place these utilizations within your sales copy right about where the objections start to crop up. One way to do this is through customer testimony. Simply do a poll of satisfied customers and ask for specific feedback regarding certain objections, how they think of the product now versus how they thought of it before they bought it, how the product is performing compared to what their expectations were, etc. If your readers can see real testimony from real customers that show they had the same concerns before buying, yet are now happy and satisfied customers, that can go a long way toward increasing your sales. I'm George Hutton. Thank you for listening to the Mind Persuasion podcast. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.